Well, friends of the garage, hello again. Welcome back into the No Talk Motorsport workshop, where today we've got something really different. It's not a rotary, not a convertible, it's not even a Mazda. It's this odd looking European thing that they sold in Australia under the label of Holden. It is an Astra, it's a VXR, it's got a really hot little 4-cylinder up front here with a huffer in there in the front. The hairdryer blows a few pounds. You push the sport button on the dashboard and there's actually an electronic boost controller in there that ups the boost, makes it a fair bit of mumbo in there. Anyway, today a little bit of service going on this. It's a friend of the garage, so I said, yeah, we'll give it a crack for you, clean it up. This one will actually be going on the market. If you're after a little bit of cheap speed, it's got horsepower, don't know if you call it, ideal, but it's a hot hatch, it's fun, and it's not going to be a lot of money. If you're after something like this, it's going to be on the market fairly soon. We're cleaning it up, we've given it a good oil change, we're going to drop that out and give that another shot, just make sure that the engine's running right. Right at the moment we're about to do the belts on the cams, and following that, just give it a general once-over clean up. We're going to make a few things on it look a little bit nice, because there's a couple of bits that, yeah, they're not so flash, but we can fix that up. So if you're after something like this, it's going to look really good. As I said, we're about to dive in there and do the cam belts, so that'll make them all nice in there. The oil's pretty fresh. We're using some good oil to make sure that the engine, the turbo and everything is running nice. We're going to give the fluids, particularly the brake fluid, a bit of a freshen up, make that sure they're nice. Notorious with anything of this sort of age, these plastic headlight covers, they're looking a bit sad, so we're going to give them a nice clean up and tidy up. Somebody's played around with this colour scheme and it looks really naff. The bloody on the front there and in the grille, these horrible looking undercoat grey wheels, will give them a really nice clean up. They're going to look really trick. Again, similar to the grille back here, that rear panel there, it's supposed to be a chrome trim. We'll see what we can do with that, make that nice. Cleaned up the antenna. The antenna wasn't there, so we've put a new antenna on there. Radio's working absolutely beautifully. Inside, Recaro seats, they're in pretty good order. So that's a nice little bonus in there. The steering wheel's in good order. What it doesn't have on the inside at the moment, the trims on the inside of both front doors have gone west. Now, we have got up here amongst the Morticia, the track car, is one of the trims. It came off the driver's door. Haven't got the passenger one, so what we're going to do is go through the process of rebuilding a new one of those, and maybe we might rebuild both actually, recover them in a matching set of leather so that it kind of looks like it was supposed to be there on the inside. So that'll make it, very attractive for whoever decides to buy this car. Now, as I said, it's not going to be cheap. They've got a bit of a reputation, but it's enjoyable to drive. If you're after some really fast, cheap horsepower, watch for this very soon. Right, so to do the belts on the camshafts on these things, make it easy. We take the front wheel off when we get in through the side there to get to the main crankshaft pulley. And of course, what are we doing? We're taking the front wheel off. What is it with the Europeans and this funny system? If you're a European and watching this, please explain it to me. We've just finished doing the brakes on the BMW, which is, one of the other cars in the No Talk Motorsport fleet, and they had them too. We've got a Volkswagen Beetle that we're restoring. They've got this sort of concept. It's very, very foreign to Australian cars. We don't do this bolt thing, we put nuts on our studs. Anyway, that's what it's got. What can I say? European bitch number 2. Torque fit bolts and sockets and all that sort of stuff. Japanese, Australian, they're all just regular hex. What is the go with torque fit? I don't get it. I've had to go out and buy a new socket set. So, in true Mighty Car Mod style, step 1, jack up your car. Thanks, Moog. Righto, in here we've got the wheel off, and we've dropped that plastic cover that you can see on the ground there, which is an access trap, into the main pulley at the end of the crankcase. We're going to need some access to that for a couple of different reasons, but this makes it nice and easy. At least that's got one thing right going for it. Let's continue. We've got to get the airbox out. Fortunately, it's not hard to get to. There's one bolt that holds a bracket to the chassis there. Couple of little circlips on the intake for the mass airflow sensor, which we've kicked aside. We've got all the pipes off, and we get the airbox out. But we thought, while we've got the airbox out, let's just check the air filter's okay. Now, European bitch number 3. More of these torque fit bolts. Why can't they be like most Japanese cars that have just a couple of, like in here, a couple of little spring clips? Instead, they've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts holding the top down. Could easily be done with a couple of spring clips. Anyway, I digress. Let's rip the top off. Yeah, it's not completely rotten and filled up, but it is pretty filthy, so I think good time to put new air filter in. So we've cracked the timing cover to expose the belt, turned the crank around to line up the timing marks on the camshaft belt, or the camshaft pulleys, and there's good news. It's actually in time, so no dramas there. Alright, let's keep going. We'll get this belt out, put the new belt in. Got a couple other belts down here to undo first, and yeah, there's a few bits to go on down the bottom, but that's at least a good starting point. Blah, look at the colour of that. God, that's got to go. Why do some places have to do up wheel nuts so damn tight? It's ridiculous. That breaker bar's a decent length. I weigh about 90 kilos, and standing on the end of it, I still couldn't get it to budge. It took a lot of work to get that wheel stud undone, and nearly all 5 were the same. Ridiculous. So we're bleeding the rotten fluid through the brake system, getting some nice fresh .4 in there. And here's my next curious question. Why do the bleed nipples on the back calipers have an 11mm spanner, and yet the front ones are 10s? European cars, they are going to be the test of me. Well, friends of the garage, the servicing side of the Astra pretty well is buttoned up. Got the belt sorted, did the timing belt, done the serpentine belt. We've got just an oil change to go on the service side of things. A couple of $100K, we'll give it another oil change, new filter, just to make sure that there's some beautiful clean oil going through the turbo, going through the motor, all that sort of stuff. Nice. The brake system, we completely sucked all that mucky, black, horrible stuff out of the master cylinder, put some fresh stuff in. We've gone around all 4 wheels and bled the whole system through so that there's clean brake fluid in the system. I hate to think what, I thought the pedal felt spongy before, and that would explain why it probably is. If it started to get hot, you'd just run out of pedal completely. It was horrible, but you know, good clean .4 in there now, so that's really good. We've got a nice new air filter going in there, so that's breathing well. As I say, the servicing side of things, checked all the pads, checked all of everything like that. It's in really good order. The oil change, the only thing, as I said there before, yet to come in a couple of hundred Ks, but you know, that's just a minor thing. I don't know if you noticed there when I did some filming down on the main pulley of the crankcase, the crankshaft, sorry, the oil filter located right next to it. Really easy to get to. One saving grace, and a good thing I found about this car is doing oil change dead easy. Beautiful, liking that. So yep, couple hundred Ks, we'll get a new one of those done. So really now it's just the decorative stuff. We're going to make the wheels look better, we're going to get some of the trim looking better. We've bought some bits and pieces to make up the new trim sections inside the doors. So as I say, this car going up for sale very soon, going to be Trek. Really good value if you're wanting some cheap horsepower. Look, I used to ride Hayabusas. I know what really fast is like. This is not that fast, but you know, for a standard hot hatch, it goes pretty hard. You've got the button on the dash which actually makes a difference. As I said, there's an electronic boost controller down by the huffer in there, and it does. It cranks up the boost a little bit, and it does make it quite a quick little hot hatch. So if you're after it, for under, well under 10 grand, I can tell you, it's going to be less than that. This is something you might want to look at. It is registered Queensland. It's currently located in New South Wales. Depending on where you're at, it's going to go either way. You could send me a message if you're interested, but other than that, you know, it's still probably 2 or 3 weeks away before we get the wheels finished, before we get the trims trimmed up, and before we get the interior nicely decorated. But hey, let me know now. If I know that there's some interest out there, I'll really put some focus on getting it done quickly. Anyway, folks, thanks again. That's a wrap for another episode. Really love you watching. All these other people say like, subscribe, all that bullshit. I don't care about that. I just want to make sure that you're enjoying what it is you're watching. If there's something you want to see, let me know. But otherwise, we'll be back on to Mazdas again very soon. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Now, you didn't really think I was going to finish it there, did you? Now, excuse the bouncing around of the camera, but I don't have an in-car camera mount. But hey, we can't do some service work on this thing without taking it for a little bit of a rip for you. So let's just have a bit of a play, see what it'll do. We'll better push this sport button here, because, you know, without pushing the sport button, sure enough, it's quickish, but, you know, with the sport button pushed, the turbo works. Let's have a crack. Goes alright. We hit the rev limiter once there too. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Ripper support. There'll be more stuff on the Mazda soon. Cheers, and don't forget, this sort of thing will be up for sale soon. See ya.